All right, you know what? Just screw all this Scarlet and Violet stuff, man. Screw the fact that all the prices are doubling overnight. Screw the fact that you can't find anything anywhere. I'm going back to a simpler time in Pokemon, and I'm sad to say that that time is 2020. Yeah, the first time Pokemon had a massive boom that led to everything being sold out everywhere is actually starting to look like a decent time in the Pokemon hobby compared to what we're in right now. But more so, today I am on the hunt for my favorite Pokemon card of all time as we are opening Sword and Shield Vivid Voltage. This is one of my most open sets of all time. So yes, this is a Sword and Shield set from 2020, so 5 years ago now almost. And like the more recent Surging Sparks, it is all about a giant special Pikachu card, for the most part. That's not my favorite card though. That is not my favorite card, because this set is actually from an interesting point in the Sword and Shield era when we didn't have alternate arts yet. The biggest rarity cards that you could pull in this box and most other early Sword and Shield boxes were just rainbow rares. But that also means that there are a few other rarity cards that have kind of gone by the wayside, particularly Amazing Rares. Amazing Rares were these really cool cards in the early days of the Sword and Shield era that only lasted for 2 sets, Vivid Voltage and Shining Fates, and there were only ever a grand total of 9 of them. If you've ever opened the set Shining Fates, I am certain that you've seen these cards before. The Yveltal, Reshiram, and Kyogre Amazing Rares. This is what they look like. They're a standard Pokemon card frame like a holo, but they have a cool texture and this weird, like, glittery rainbow explosion behind them. It's like a gender reveal party or a slow-mo guys video. I've just always loved these cards. They feel like a wonderful evolution of the original Pokemon holos from back in the day, with the added texture that modern hits usually have, things like that. But aside from Shining Fates, Vivid Voltage is the only set to ever have them, and then they stopped making them, which is such a shame. Some of the earliest cards that I ever got graded were an entire set of every Vivid Voltage Amazing Rare, which, you know, I've held on to this day. And this card right here, the Celebi Amazing Rare, is my favorite Pokemon card of all time. There was a point where I just had like a massive stack of them because they were so easy to come across, and I had pulled so many, I just had like this couple pages of a binder worth of this card. This is my favorite card, and this is what we are looking for as we get into our Vivid Voltage box. Now, of course, the Amazing Rares are not the only things you can get in this set. This is a classic Sword and Shield set, so while there are no alternate arts yet, there are still Vs, VMAXs, Rainbow Rares, Full Art Trainers, and the like. All that junk. So, oh, we are going back to the Sword and Shield era. Look, the yellow border. Oh, I missed the yellow border so much. Ooh, okay. Like I said, when I was getting back into Pokemon in 2021, this was one of the most recently released sets that, you know, if you could actually manage to find Pokemon cards, you'd get to open a lot of, and I opened a lot of this set. Oh man, this is actually a very instrumental set into defining my interest in Pokemon right now. Ooh, first pack, we got a Shaman Holo, and this is back in the day when holos were not guaranteed, so that is a pull right there, and that's a classic Shaman art. I'm on record as saying I'm not a huge fan of the Sword and Shield holo foil style, but at this point, it is like kind of a welcome change from what Scarlet and Violet's got going on. And right here, we got a Pikachu pack. Now, of course, the big card that everyone was after in the set when it was brand new was the Rainbow Pikachu VMAX, which I was very lucky to have pulled in a random Celebrations box that only had 1 pack of Vivid Voltage in it, despite the fact that I had opened probably a couple cases worth of booster boxes of this set trying to find it, and I just came up empty. But it's not what we're looking for. We're looking for Amazing Rares. Now, from my memory of opening this set back in the day, you should be getting like maybe 2 to 3 Amazing Rares per box, and they are always in the reverse holo slot. So you don't actually have to have, you know, like a good code card in order to get one. You know how like back in the day, the code cards weirdly were telling you ahead of the time what kind of pack you were about to open, whether you'd get a holo or better or not? Yeah, that didn't matter when it came to Amazing Rares. You could always have the chance at one in any pack. Ooh, Aegis/V. Man, remember V cards? Why'd they call them that? Why'd they call them V cards? Oh. Duo pack. Yeah, I accidentally pulled 2 out of the box when I thought I was pulling 1. So we're gonna do this as a duo pack real quick. So we're gonna put 4 to the front because this is Sword and Shield, and then we're gonna put only 2 to the side. Then we've got our Water Energy, Duat B, Opal, Woobat. I haven't seen some of these cards in a long time. Tynamo, Trubbish, and Whimsir crying in the fountain. Then we do the same for the next pack. We just rip, gut, code, 4 to front, 2 to side, and then we got a Steel or Metal type energy, Shuckle Sprinkle, Beauty. Then we got Dusclops, Tynamo, Trubbish, a lot of the same cards again. There's that Whimsir again, Rockruff, and Voltorb. And then we've got a nice little duo pack of just the reverse and holo slots. Now, I don't think the code cards were particularly good on those packs, but again, that doesn't mean we couldn't get an amazing rare. So first we got a Sableye reverse, then a non-holo Dreadnought. This is back in the days when you could actually get non-holos. Then we got a Wooper reverse, and a Terrakion non-holo. Terrakion non-holo. But look at that Wooper card. He's so silly. He's sitting in the bath, or the swimming pool. There's bubbles everywhere, so it feels like it should be a bath, though. But look at the little rainbow shooting out from the wall behind him. That's cute. There they are. Hey, look, it's Celebi. That's my favorite Pokemon right there. So I think Celebi, the only card in this set, is the amazing rare. But the Sword and Shield era actually had a nice spread of like good Celebi cards. You had the Celebi amazing rare in this set. You had the Fusion Strike Celebi alternate art. You had the Chilling Rain Celebi VMAX and Rainbow VMAX. And I think the V came in, it might have been Darkness Ablaze or something like that. Like, they really spread the Celebi cards out for some reason. We got a Chitoct, we got Charmander, there's a Charizard in this set, but it's a non-holo, interestingly. Oh, I skipped a card, there's a Poochyena and an Aromatic Energy reverse with a Metagross non-holo on the back, but that is some cool art. Very serious and stoic. It makes it look like a Shadow of the Colossus boss. Let's pull from the back of the box this time with this Orbeetle art. I miss the Sword and Shield era, man. I mean, yes, it was the era that got me back into Pokemon, and so I'm always gonna have like a nostalgic attachment to it, but I genuinely miss a lot of the like special idiosyncrasies of this era. I miss the yellow borders. I miss things like the amazing rares. I miss when alternate arts were a little bit more special than they kind of are now. I do sort of miss holos not being guaranteed, and it's hard to feel love for the Scarlet and Violet era right now when you can't find any of it. But we got a Duat reverse, and we got something. We got a little something. Ooh, that's our first VMAX. Remember VMAXs? Galarian Darmanitan VMAX. I miss VMAXs so much, man. These were so cool. This is based on the special mechanic of Pokemon Sword and Shield, where your Pokemon got real big, and that was kind of it. But even though these aren't alternate arts, these like special textured full art VMAXs always felt so special to pull because the art is like really grandiose. You know, right now Pokemon's real big on bringing back stuff from like the X and Y and kind of the black and white era as we're getting into sort of the like Pokemon Legends ZA stuff, and kind of the whole Scarlet and Violet generation has been made up of like bringing back stuff from X and Y and black and white, like Ace Specs, old school EXs, things like that. But I am really hoping that at some point we go back to VMAXs. I miss those cards so much. They were so fun. We got a Riolu, ooh, a Vaporeon, reverse holo. Those evolutions just never go away, do they? Oh, we got something else. Ooh, Talonflame V. The Vs I was never quite as big on. I like the VMAXs a lot. The Vs felt a little, I don't know. There's some about them that just never quite did as much for me. The art is fantastic, but I think it's the fact that they don't really have a holo as much as they just have a sheen. Like, they kind of look like a sticker, but they're very nostalgic to me, and that is a pull. But yeah, as I was planning out content for the channel this year, I knew I really wanted to like really go back, dig deep into the Pokemon sets that I love, and start doing some videos on those, because given the time that I launched this channel, I never actually did do any openings of Vivid Voltage or Chilling Rain or Darkness Ablaze or anything like that, because they were not the new sets at the time. They had been out for like a year or so by the time I even started conceptualizing this channel. So we got a Woobat reverse and an Exploud non-holo. Duo pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side. That was almost 3. Then we got a Leaf Energy, Grass type Energy, League Staff, Macargo, Beldum, Slugma, Blitzel, Chimecho, and Galarian Meowth. Remember Galarian Pokemon? Remember all of those things? Why am I saying that so much? Why am I member burying this Pokemon opening? Pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side. And then we got a Lightning Energy, we got Galvantula, Sableye, I skipped a card, Moo Cheese, Nincada, Wooper, Milcery, Beldum, and Wooper. Wait, what? That doesn't happen. What? We got 2 Woopers in one pack. That seriously does not happen. What the hell? Like, unless you get a common or an uncommon card as your reverse, you never get a duplicate of any card in a pack. That's weird. Now that makes me wonder if this was packaged in like 2021 when Pokemon was going through their like serious production issues because they couldn't keep up supply. That's weird. That never happens. But that little hiccup aside, now we've got our duo pack. Let's see. Maybe we get an amazing rare. Nope. Just a Wailord reverse, followed by, oh, we got the Charizard, non-holo Charizard. I'm gonna count that as a pull, because that is a classic card. No amazing rare in this duo pack, but we got a Skiddo, and I think there's something behind it. Ooh, Steelix V. That was always such an intense looking card. I swear I had like a million of these back in the day. He's jumping from the earth. He's exploding out from the earth. All right, where was I? Yeah, I just was never able to like plan for content around these sets back when the channel was new because they were already kind of old by that point. But now that all the Scarlet and Violet stuff is getting so hard to come across, it honestly feels like a better use of my time to explore some of these older sets instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever on the new stuff, because the new stuff, it'll crash eventually. So, almost certainly. So, I'm just enjoying some more nostalgic stuff instead of trying to keep up with all the new stuff now that we've caught up. We got an Electrike, a Zygarde reverse, and a Grapploct. And like I said, no alternate arts at this point in Pokemon. Back in the day, when Sword and Shield started, we had just come out of the Sun and Moon era, which towards the end of its lifespan did have a few alternate arts, but then Sword and Shield started and didn't have alternate arts anymore. It was just like Rainbow Rares and Full Art Trainers and stuff, and that lasted through to the set Battle Styles. Battle Styles, despite being one of the more underrated sets that people like to kind of ignore and brush off, was the first set of the Sword and Shield era to reintroduce the concept of alternate arts with that Sleeping Tyranitar, all those Urshifus, the Empoleon, things like that, and then everything just went haywire when Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies came out. Ooh, we got a Zapdos Holo. Nice. I always loved this art. It's so like apocalyptic, and as much as I am not a fan of this Holo style, it does kind of work with all the lightning. Oh, damn. Okay, we got a first here. Triple pack. I accidentally pulled 2 packs out of the box, and then a third pack accidentally just up and jumped out and fell on the floor. So we're gonna do a triple pack real quick. We've never done one of those before. Pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side, and then we have a Fighting Energy, Stone Energy, those match. Then we got Beauty, Mightyena, Charmander, Poochyena. We got that whole evolution line. Mudbray, Pineco, and Electrike. Then we got pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side. Then we got a Psychic Energy, Cramorant, and Drone Rotom, which I pulled out of order, Mudbray, Cottony, Joltik, and Chatot. And finally, pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front. I got a text, 2 to the side. And then we got a Darkness Energy, Kakuna. I haven't seen that Kakuna card in a while. And we got Alistair, Charmander, Tailo, one of those classic clay cards. Then we got Woobat, Clobbopus, and Tynamo, which brings us to one of our first ever triple packs. So let's take a look. We got a Swellow reverse. No amazing rares yet. Executor non-holo, cute little Weedle reverse. Then we got a Terrakion. We don't see Terrakion cards too often. Voltorb reverse, and Quagsire. He's stupid and silly and dumb. Look at him. He doesn't even know where he is. It is a pretty stark reminder of what the pull rates used to be in Sword and Shield stuff. They're not that great right now either, but back in the day, they really made you work for your pulls in Pokemon. I don't know if you guys could maybe tell, but I watched a lot of Max Mofo Pokemon back in the day. I cannot wait for him to hopefully come back with more Pokemon content one day. But watching him open Vivid Voltage specifically is one of the more formative experiences of my like return to Pokemon. So it's always fun to open this set. It really just takes me back. We got a Pineco reverse, and oh, we got a V. Oh, Pikachu! We got a Pikachu V. Nice. I do like how this kind of like lights up his lightning. Look at that. Dark, light, dark, light, dark, light. That's cool. Oh, that's actually really cool. Let's see. Let's pull from kind of in the middle of the box there. But yeah, while we wait for new sets to come out, I kind of want to dig back into the Sword and Shield era and open some stuff that I've never done on the channel, but is like super nostalgic to me at this point. I've already done a few of those. I did a Battle Styles box and a Fusion Strike box, but I've never done like Darkness Ablaze. I've never done Sword and Shield base or anything like that. I filmed Chilling Reign and never posted it. So I'd like to do a Chilling Reign box at some point. There were a lot of videos back in like the first 6 months of prepping before the channel launched, where I was filming stuff a bunch and then none of those videos ever came out because they were just kind of like out of date. It took way longer to launch the channel than I thought. But we got something behind this League Staff reverse. And it's an Orbeetle V. That's another really cool, that's a very clean V. Vs can sometimes be a little bit busy, but this one is really clean. He's in the background field that's in all Pokemon YouTuber thumbnails for some reason. Except for me, I am in the void. Not a single amazing rare yet. I know for a fact that you're supposed to get 2 to 3 in a box. So if we're reaching maybe the 1/3 to 1/2 spot of this box, then we're gonna have a pretty loaded back half, I think. We're gonna put 4 to the front, and we got a Fire Energy. I don't think we've seen a Fire Energy yet. Matang Winden Stadium. Ooh, like Wimbledon? Is that what they're going for? We got Go-Goat, Clobopus. I can't believe they named a Pokemon that. Cottony. Someone had to have caught that. Whalmer. He's silly and stupid and dumb as well. He doesn't even know where he is. Then we got Drillbur, another cute little clay Pokemon. Those are actual models. They're not CG. Those are actual clay models that someone made and are actually put on display places. I think there's maybe a museum in Japan that has some of them out on display. It's really cool. Girafarig reverse, and whatever's behind it is stuck. It's a Banette non-holo, which I don't remember seeing before. I mean, there's no way that I haven't seen this card before, but it must have just slipped my mind. That is creepy looking. That's a nice, genuinely ominous looking Banette card. So we are halfway through this box, and we have not seen a single amazing rare yet, which means we better have a pretty loaded back half, or else I have wasted a video, because my entire point for this video was to try and pull amazing rares, particularly that Celebi. I really want to be able to get my favorite Pokemon card on camera. So, if it doesn't happen in this video, then I guess we might just have to do it again. I don't really do follow-up videos on sets, but I guess when the set's old, I guess it doesn't matter, but still. I don't really like to repeat myself if I can help it. We got a Rockruff, no amazing rare, with an Electros non-holo on the back. I haven't given this card its flowers before. Look at that intense electric art. I was about to say there's a lot of electric Pokemon in this set, but I guess it is Vivid Voltage. So here's a guy here's an electric eel sparking up the water. Yeah, I seriously can't say the words Vivid Voltage without Max Mofo's voice in my head going, Vivid Voltage! Vivid Voltage! Hello. Oh, it's bordering on brain rot, I think. I miss that man making Pokemon videos. Definitely the biggest influence in terms of, I fucked it up. Okay, hold on, I messed up. I accidentally tried to set this up like a mega pack. I accidentally put 6 to the front because I wasn't thinking. So I think I have seen the reverse in this pack. We do not get an amazing rare, but I have not seen, if we get a pull, what that pull might be. I was getting distracted and I messed up. I am sorry. We got a Poochyena. We got a Shuppet. I'm gonna spoil it right now. It is a Dreadnought reverse. I'm magic and stupid. Zekrom. We got a Zekrom holo, so we actually did get a pull in this pack. Oh, and this Zekrom is also an electric type. Look at that, the blue lightning. Cool. Vivid Voltage! Celebi. I like Celebi. In fact, I think deciding that the Vivid Voltage Celebi was my favorite card is kind of what put Celebi over the top as my favorite Pokemon, because, I liked Celebi, I thought it was cool, but as a child, I was way more into the Gen 1 stuff than anything else, so I think my favorite Pokemon for most of my childhood was Charmeleon, kind of swapped between Charmeleon and Charmander. Occasionally it was Scyther, and occasionally it was Golduck, but it was mostly Charmeleon. But as I started getting into the cards, I just realized I really loved and had an affinity for Celebi and Suicune. Whoa! Excuse me? We got our first amazing rare of the entire box. Finally! It took half the box to get there, and we got a Donphan non-holo on the back, but look at that! Look at that! We got an amazing rare Zacian holographic? Technically, I guess. These cards have a tiny bit of texture on them like a full art, but it's not super dense. They're framed more like a traditional holo, and I just love that they have these bright rainbow backgrounds. This is fantastic. Bring these back, please. Please bring these back. These are the most underrated and underutilized cards from an aesthetic standpoint that I have ever seen. I don't know about how they work in the game, but I love the way they look, and I want them to bring them back. Do it. I will pay you money. Uh-oh. Duo pack, I swear, I hesitate to call cards underrated. I hesitate to call cards like ignored or things like that because I know how this market can be and I don't want to like accidentally blow up my favorite cards. Not that I have the like influence to do that on the scale of someone like a Pokerev, but still I worry about my use of words. But still, I genuinely believe those cards are underrated and I cannot believe that Pokemon made what is, in my opinion, the most perfect looking Pokemon card format of all time and then only did 9 of them. Bring them back. It's like at least the Radiant Pokemon got like a solid like 18 cards or more. But anyway, yeah, pack. Rip, gut, code, 4 to the front and 2 to the side. And we got a ground type fighting energy, Swellow, Galvantula, aromatic energy, Drillbur, Whimsir, oh that rhymed, Nincada, Wooper, and Milcery. And now we can see if our duo pack has yielded us yet another amazing rare. So let's see. We got a Lucario, reverse rare. I forgot about Lucario in the set. That's a really cool art. I pulled a Lucario from some black and white packs recently, which was really fun. Magearna Hollow, ooh. Giving those Steam Siege vibes. Then behind it, yes, we got a Jirachi. Amazing Rare, one of the other best cards in the Amazing Rare batch. My favorites are the Jirachi, the Celebi, and the Rayquaza. But we got Jirachi, that's another great one. And behind it, we got, oh, hello, Lucario again. What are the odds that the duo pack would yield the same Lucario card twice? Huh. All right, we're entering a bit of the final stretch of this box. We're maybe like 2/3 into it. So we don't have too many packs left, but we finally started actually hitting some amazing rares. We've got 2 so far, so I don't think it's impossible for us to get a third. I'm still hoping to see if we can find that Celebi. So let's just see. We got a Water Energy, a Go-Goat. I don't know if I've seen too many Go-Goat cards since this one. That's a bit of a deep cut one. For a Thorn, Telescopic Sight. We got Fampy. Whoa, everything failed. Fampy cards are some of the cutest in the game, and I love he's just sitting on a pile of pillows with a little Teddy Ursa plushie. I have a Teddy Ursa plushie. We're alike. C-Dot. Then we have Aracuda. Aracuda, is that how you say that? Woobat. We've seen a lot of that one. Eevee. Yet another Eevee card for the pile. You can't escape these guys these days. Then we got a Chimecho reverse and ooh, we got another VMAX. Togekiss VMAX. I love the Togetic Togekiss line. Look how colorful VMAXs are, man. They just are so intense. They are everything. Now, aside from amazing rares, there is still the possibility of getting some kind of rainbow rare, which I would absolutely love as well. If I could get another of those Pikachus, like actually manage to pull the Pikachu VMAX rainbow rare on camera, that would be gigantic for me personally. But the odds of that are pretty slim. There's also a lot of full art trainers in this set, and we haven't seen a single one so far, so there's always the possibility that we could get a rainbow rare Leon or something like that. We got a Caralis in the Diglett Ruins? Is that a thing in the games? We got another little Clay Talo. Rockruff, we've seen a lot of you. Voltorb, we've seen this Voltorb card a couple of times. I just love this art. This very like soft, almost watercolor-ish look gives me such old school Pokemon card vibes, like 90s vibes. On top of the fact that it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. It's so cute. We got a little Shuppet. Then we got another Phanpy, this time as a reverse, and an Electros. I'd say the pulls in this box so far have been decent, but not crazy. They've been pretty standard for what a Sword and Shield era box would have been known for having at the time. The thing about Vivid Voltage that was great is that because of the amazing rares, you could always have a chance of getting something in a pack, whether you got a good code card or not. But back in the day, it was really common for you to open an entire booster box and really only get a couple of VMAXs in terms of like max rarity. Getting Rainbow Rares or eventually alternate arts or things like that, those were kind of like, those were real rarities, like very much like you'd have to open several boxes sometimes to get one, which is just not the case anymore. And I think that's kind of a good thing, but I also kind of miss a little bit of the real like shock that you would get when you finally pulled one. But we got a Garbodor. We haven't seen Garbodor yet in this. I just noticed that he is a garbage bag that has broken open and his body is the spilling out of all the garbage, but the garbage appears to be dirt and gemstones. I mean, that's a lot of like rubies and sapphires. Why would those get thrown away? But yeah, I do miss the rainbow rares, and I do like that the Scarlet and Violet era has kind of brought back something similar with the new Terra EXs having rainbow borders and things like that. I wonder if we'll ever see rainbow rares come back in full, but you know, for now, just having those rainbow bordered Terra cards is pretty good for me, but I just loved pulling rainbow rare cards back in the day. The thing was, eventually they started introducing, eventually they also started introducing a lot of like rainbow rare full art trainers, and so they just got kind of like oversaturated. But here, I thought that pack opened kind of weirdly easily. We've got an Arrokuda that is completely crimped on the top. Look at that. This is actually kind of common to see in the Sword and Shield era. They were just having to print so much that sometimes things kind of got lost a little bit. But this is a crimped card. You see the top of this pack that it came out of? These lines here, that is a heat press crimping that seals the pack up, but this card got caught in the crimp, which indented it pretty heavily and stopped the pack from being like fully sealed tight. A lot of people like to collect crimped cards. They're kind of neat. There's nothing really like special about them, but they are just kind of unique to see. It's an error that people are actually kind of like okay with, so that's kind of cool. I haven't seen a crimped card in a while. But then for the rest of the pack, we got a Cottony, a Galarian Meowth, an Alistair reverse card, and a Shiftry non-holo. Man, I forgot how many non-holos you used to get back in the day. Oh, they went off screen. Duo pack. Sometimes I just genuinely grab one pack and another one falls out with it. So we just kind of like knock them out at the same time just to kind of speed through it. I mean, booster boxes can take a lot of time. We got a Water Energy, Galvantula, Sableye, then Moo Cheese, Sandile, Riolu, Ferroseed, Duskull, and Oshawott. I straight up don't know how other YouTubers do those openings where it's like, oh, we're opening like 500 packs in one video. Like, man, that would take me forever. And I know it's because I like spend a little bit more time on the cards and stuff, but I just don't know how they do it. That is so many packs. Let's see. We got a Steel type energy, Metal energy, whatever. Memory Capsule, Loudred. That's a cool Loudred art. I love the lineless art with the really cool pastel colors. That's cute. Ferroseed, Duskull. We got another Oshawott, Drillbur, and Dedenne, another little clay Pokemon. And then we have our duo pack. Can we pull that Celebi? No, it's a Coding energy. Coding? Coating it with what? Then we got an Exploud. We evolved that Loudred into a Galarian Berserker. I forgot about Galarian Berserker. Jeez. And, ooh, a Dusknoir holo. We got another holographic. Cool. It's been a minute since we pulled a holo. I believe this is the first video I'm posting after kind of finishing up my like catch-up phase of Pokemon content. So by this point, ideally, I should have already covered Twilight Masquerade, Temporal Forces, Paldean Fates, and Journey Together. I haven't filmed much of that content yet, but ideally by the time this is going out, all that should have happened. So now, moving forward, I really want to, of course, tackle the new sets as they come out, but I really want to start opening some of these older Pokemon Sword and Shield sets. I've got Vivid Voltage. Just off screen, I've got a box of Darkness Ablaze that I plan on opening soon, and a bunch of Pokemon Go. Yeah, I want to dive back into Pokemon Go for a bit. Ooh, we got our third VMAX. This is a Colossal VMAX. This is one of the more intense ones. Look at that. He's a big, tall, giant, like, furnace of a man. Did I say he was big, tall, and giant? I feel like all of those kind of mean the same thing. We only got, what, like 6 packs left? You know, I think we're just gonna do 5 of these in one big mega pack and then save 1 for the end. So here we go, pack, rip, gut, code. Then we put 4 to the front, 2 to the side, and then we have a Fighting Energy, Hitmontop, Hero's Metal, Aromatic Energy, Chimecho, Riolu, Chewtle. We haven't seen a whole lot of Chewtle. Pick-a-Peck, and Dedenne. Then we go again, pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front and 2 to the side. Then we got a Psychic Energy, Wash Energy, Nuzleaf, then Nessa, Sandile, Talo. I forgot about Nessa. We got Joltik and Mudbray. Pack, rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side. Then we got a Water Energy, Swoobat, Hitmontop. I took off the bath by accident. Milcery, Tynamo, Clefairy. We haven't seen this Clefairy yet. Look at him dancing around in the moonlight. Then we got Pineco with that intense Kamiya art. Look at that. They're celebrating in the fireworks, and we're ending on that same Oshawott. Pack, rip. Oh, hold on. Rip, gut, code, 4 to the front, 2 to the side, and then we have a Fighting Energy, Rocky Helmet, Delmise and Krokorok, Rockruff, Poochyena, Pikapek, Nincada, and Aracuda. That was like almost a tongue twister of a pack. And then the last one we got Pack, Rip, Gut, Code, putting 4 to the front and 2 to the side. Yes, 2. Then we got a Psychic Energy, Kakuna, Matang, Alistair, a Kakuna Matanga. We got a Skiddo and Blitzel. And then saving this guy to slow roll as our final pack, has Celebi on it even. We now have a 5-pack Pokemon Mega Pack, which at 2 cards per pack, I think this should be 10. That's how you do math, right? 10 cards that are either reverses, rares, or better. So we start out with a Hero's Metal Reverse going into a Samurott non-holo. I haven't seen a non-Hisuian Samurott in a while. Look at that guy. Then we got a Beedrill Reverse going into a Galarian Berserker. Careless Reverse, no amazing rares so far, what the hell? Oh, we got a Cape of Toughness, Gold Rare trainer item card of Cape of Toughness, and this is huge, but I think I caught a glimpse of something right behind it. No. Okay, for some reason I thought we had a Celebi behind it. Okay, hold on. I pulled a stupid, but anyway, let's take a closer look at this. We got an amazing Cape of Toughness gold card. Look at all the sparkle and shine on that. So that is by far the biggest pull we've had of this box. But continuing on, we've got Ninjask Reverse, a Banette non-holo, an Electric non-holo, or Electric Reverse holo, and a Vaporeon non-holo. And with that, we have reached the final pack of our Vivid Voltage box, and it has Celebi on it. So we're gonna take this a little bit slow. This is our final chance at either an amazing rare Celebi or at that Rainbow Pikachu, or any Rainbow card to be fair. So we are going to put 4 to the front, and we are gonna take this a little bit at a time. We got a Darkness Energy going into a Rocky Helmet, which is just a helmet with rocks on it. We got a Dusclops, Ferrothorn, digging through the tunnel, it would seem. We got a Beldum hiding in the leaves. We got a Weedle hiding in the leaves. Wailmer, then Sandile going into Riolu. I think we're about at our reverse. And it is a Jolteon reverse. So only 2 amazing rares in this box with a Whimsicott on the back. And so, for opening Vivid Voltage in 2025, we got this weird little crimped Aracuda card, a nice Charizard non-holo rare. Then we got our holos of Zapdos, Zekrom, Magearna, Dusknoir, and Shaman. Then we got our Vs of Talonflame, Steelix, Pikachu, Orbeetle, and Aegislash. Moving up into our VMAXs, we got Togekiss, Colossal, and Galarian Darmanitan. Then hitting probably our biggest pull of the box, we got this Cape of Toughness gold trainer card. But more importantly to me, we got 2 amazing rares of Zacian and Jirachi. No Celebi, unfortunately, but I'm happy to get any amazing rares at all. Those are so cool. And it just means we'll have to do another Vivid Voltage box sometime to try and hunt down my Celebi. I already have it, obviously, but I really want to pull it on camera because it is my favorite Pokemon card. So, yeah, that was Vivid Voltage. Leave.